right now while y'all in it. Take care of y'all bread. So when y'all done, go ahead and take care of yourself. So while y'all at it right now, take care of y'all bodies. You know what I mean? Don't take care of y'all chicken. You feel me? Don't take care of y'all mentals. So I mean, you feel me? Start taking care of y'all mentals, y'all bodies, and y'all chicken. What it do, baby?
Welcome back to another edition of the number one podcast in your headphones, Creme Brulee. That's right, don't ever get it twisted, don't ever play yourselves. But before we get started, let's pause a second for an ad. What up, you number one podcast listeners? You know what you've tuned into. I'm your host, Premal from the Play Call Network, back with another edition of Creme Brulee. Without further ado, let's get started on this week's headlines. Yeah, fam or not? First up, the MLB Hall of Fame class was announced. No surprise, in his first year of eligibility, Derek Jeter was voted in. He was voted one vote shy of unanimous.
Listen, you son of a bitch. What the fuck's your problem?
If you remember, last year was the first time someone was voted in unanimously. That was Mariano Rivera. Before that, there had never been one like that. The other former player voted in was Larry Walker. This was his last year of eligibility, and he got voted in. The next closest that didn't get in was Curt Schilling. He had 70% of votes. You need 75%. And of course, everybody wants to keep an eye out on Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens. Bonds got 60.7% of the votes, and Clemens got 61% of the votes. Bonds needs 57 would have needed 57 more votes, and Clemens 56 in order to get in. And they now have 2 years left to get in before it's turned over to the committee that is probably never going to let them in. So they have 2 years to make up about 14% of the vote. Listen, go over this every year. Yeah, fam to the players that got in, but I'm a nah. I don't think there's any Hall of Fame Major League Baseball without people like Barry Bonds. He's the all-time home run leader. Even before his reported steroids, he was worthy of a spot in Cooperstown. So, I'm a nah. And the fact that Derek Jeter doesn't have everyone vote him in, there's one voter that didn't vote him in. How? What righteous piece of shit writer doesn't vote him in? It's the only sport like this.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I don't fucking get it. Now that the unanimous barrier was broken, how is Derek Jeter not someone who gets everyone's votes? So I am a nod of this. So fucking old school. It's the most traditionalist sport ever. And this is the sport I played the longest, so I love it dearly. But this type of chicken shit just makes it so dumb. I hope Clemens and Bonds get in their 2 years remaining. Do the right thing, you old heads. Alright, over to football. Yeah, fam or not, Aaron Rodgers' window for Super Bowl is done. So the Packers fell short in the NFC Championship game against the Niners. We all know the history. Rodgers is widely regarded as one of the best quarterbacks of all time, but has just one Super Bowl ring. Is he still in the conversation for best quarterback? Can he be with just one ring and all those years of having good rosters around him? Let's see. Is his window for Super Bowl done? I'm going to go with a yeah, fam. There are a lot of good teams out there, and there's no reason to assume that he's just going to get in and get many other chances. He's not getting any younger, and that team of his refuses to draft him any weapons outside of Devontae Adams. So until they do, I can't really trust that. It will be a shame if he does finish with just one Super Bowl ring, and it's definitely going to be something talked about in his legacy. And I'm not exactly mad about it. If he really is transcendent at quarterback, gotta have more than one in my book. I mean, year after year with 12 people lined up on his side. I mean, one in the form of wearing black and white jerseys. I mean, you gotta do better than that.
Petty alert, petty alert, petty alert.
If Aaron Rodgers hears this, he might be asking for a roughing the passer flag right this minute. Yeah, fam or not, to an alternative onside kick. So the NFL is experimenting with an alternative in this year's Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl has already eliminated kickoffs, But this year, they will unveil two options after a team scores. The first is to give the ball back to the opposition, which would start its drive at the 25-yard line, so a regular touchback. The second is this new proposal. So, instead of an onside kick option, the team that just scored would run one additional play from its own 25-yard line. If that team gains 15 or more yards, it would retain possession. If it falls short, the opposing team would take over at the dead ball spot. So essentially, it's like a 4th and 15 play as an onside kick. We all know that onside kicks have been more difficult to recover since the NFL passed a rule in 2018 overhauling the kickoff. Those rules prevented the kickoff team from getting a running start before the kick, which caused onside kick recoveries to drop from the league's historic rate of about 21% through the 2017 season to 7.7% in 2018 and 12.9% in 2019. I'm a yeah fan for this. I'm all for this. I think it'd be exciting to watch. There'd be defensive strategy guarding that 15-yard play, and I think it is. You feel better about your chances if you're the team down in getting the ball back. And yet it's still an advantage for the defense because they know the yard line they need to guard, and it's very difficult to convert 15 yards when they know you're going for that marker. So I'm a big fan of this proposal, especially if they're deeming the kickoff to be too dangerous. And last up on Yeah Fam or Nah, Super Bowl 54 is set. It will be the Chiefs versus the Niners. The Chiefs had back-to-back games of overcoming double-digit deficits. They defeated the Titans 35-24 behind another huge game by Patrick Mahomes. The Niners beat the Packers for the second time this season, 37-20. In that game, Jimmy Garoppolo attempted just 8 passes all game. Those 8 passes also included a real-time 1.5 hours without attempting a pass. The Niners bring a top 2 defense to the Super Bowl. For a history lesson, top 2 defenses are 15-5 in Super Bowl history. So keep that in mind if you're a degenerate, maybe, or you're trying to make a prediction.
I'm about that. Big trust. Woo woo.
You already know. Sound it.
Petty alert, petty alert, petty alert.
You know what podcast you tune into. If you're not a Niners or Chiefs fan, the fuck do I care? Team Snacks, baby.
What it do, baby?
Who gives a shit? Football's been dead. It's almost draft season, guys. Alright, on to likey, no likey, hate it. First up on likey is Arizona Cardinals wide receiver, who, by the way, announced he's coming back for another season. Larry Fitzgerald bought a minority stake in the Phoenix Suns. Boss move. He is the second active player to do so. Aaron Rodgers bought a minority stake in the Milwaukee Bucks. So those are big moves only. What a great investment, especially while you're still in the league. Next likey goes to the NFL Draft. Their red carpet will be on the water in the fountains of the Bellagio for this year's draft in Vegas. The main draft stage will be in Caesar's Palace. They are also shutting down the Strip, which they only do for New Year's Eve and the Vegas Marathon. So, big deal. Really excited to see this setup. Apparently, the draft prospects have arrived by boat for this red carpet, so pumped to see that. Last likey is Ohio State hiring Kerry Coombs as their defensive coordinator. The former defensive back coach for the Buckeyes spent the last 2 years in the NFL coaching the Titans defensive backs under former co-coach at Ohio State, Mike Vrabel. During Coombs' first 6-year tenure at Ohio State, all of his cornerback starters he coached were first-round draft picks in the NFL. So, love to see it. They paid him handsomely. It was a fan favorite. It's who everybody wanted as a replacement of defensive coordinator. It's good to have the man back. As a Buckeye fan, it's a slam dunk hire, and gotta be nice for him to come back to a place he spent 6 years not too long ago. No likey goes to Clemson running back Travis Etienne, who decided to return to school for his senior season. Etienne was projected a top 3 running back. Instead, he returns to a loaded Clemson roster. It is a very surprising move. Many people thought he would be entering the draft early. He decided to finish out his career at Clemson, earn his degree. Kudos to him, but this is a no likey because it's Clemson.
Petty alert, petty alert, petty alert.
And we'll see how it hurts or helps his chances. I'm always in favor of a player going to get their money. So hopefully for his sake it works out. By the way, the final number of underclassmen to declare early for the NFL draft was 115. This is down from the record in 2018 of 135 underclassmen, so at least a little bit down from there, and hopefully their gamble pays off.
Enjoy this moment, and have fun with it.
Got one hate it for this week. Now that football's dead, it just becomes way more positive. It doesn't suck the life out of me. But hate it goes to someone spectating LeBron James' son, Bronny's game. A spectator threw a piece of trash at Bronny while he was waiting to inbound a pass. A fucking high schooler, guys? Give me a break with these fucks out here. What gives you the right? This dude's in high school. Dude, come the fuck on. Why are these people the way they are? Why should a high schooler have to worry about that shit, no matter who his dad is? Sometimes people are the worst, man. Anyway, Joker, you're up.
And here we go.
That's right, you know what time it is.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
First up on You Played Yourself, a favorite of mine in this category, the WOAT, Draymond Green. My guy, Charles Barkley, had the following quote: Draymond don't talk as much since he's averaging that triple single. End quote. I couldn't have said it better myself, Chuck. Fucking WOAT. You love to hear it. Next up on You Played Yourself, another favorite of ours on this section, our friend Baker Mayfield, might future play himself if he doesn't get with the program under his new coach Kevin Stefanski. Dan Orlovsky of ESPN brought up this point. Now that the Browns fired their head coach and general manager, all the people that vouched for Baker Mayfield are now gone. Nobody tied to him remains, so if he continues his antics, he might not have too much support left in that organization. So, great point brought up by him, and perhaps a future You Played Yourself.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Okay, You Played Yourself goes to the New York Giants, who hired Jason Garrett as their offensive coordinator. Please get used to all the claps like it's a little league game. You traded out the now retired Eli Manning's dumb faces when he gets sacked for a man who does nothing but clap it up even when you suck. Oh, here's the best part. The new Giants head coach Joe Judge said this about his new offensive coordinator, Jason Garrett. Quote, and he does a fantastic job of making in-game adjustments. End quote. Also, someone who has not watched Jason Garrett's Cowboys the last decade, quote, and he does a fantastic job of making in-game adjustments. End quote. All right, You Played Yourself to Kemba Walker, who got his first head-to-head win against LeBron James. This man is 1-28 against LeBron James in his lifetime. I mean, Kemba, how did none of your teams catch any one of LeBron's teams slipping? Not one time did you get him while he was on some sorry-ass Cavs rosters. That's just flat out embarrassing. Last but not least, You Played Yourself to the future bachelor and bachelorette parties in Las Vegas that are not going to realize that the NFL draft is coming up in the end of April. Remember how pissed off people in Nashville were last year? I can't wait to see it. It's only been announced way in advance. Could you imagine being so excited for Vegas to be the spot, only to be overrun by football fans, grown-ass men and women in jerseys? You would love to see it. On to who you got and what you feeling. So last week, I made my picks for who I thought would make the Super Bowl. I made my picks for NFC Championship and AFC Championship. I correctly predicted Niners versus Chiefs. Amazing how right you can be once the sport is dead.
What it do, baby?
This week, thought I'd have a little fun. I'm not officially making my pick for the Super Bowl yet since we're still time away from it. I wanted to instead pick who I thought would win the Pro Bowl. I'm just kidding. I could not even get that out. Actually, I wanted to make my pick for who I'd rather have or who I think is the better tight end in Super Bowl 54. It's a great tight end matchup between Travis Kelce of the Chiefs and George Kittle of the 49ers. They are both phenomenal at what they do. I lean more heavily towards Kelce and his ability to pretty much be a wide receiver, garner double teams, and still produce on the field. Pass catching, Kittle, I would say, is definitely the better blocker. But for sheer excitement alone, I'm going with Kelce. I could see either side of this. Kittle is very complete, but I think his receiving does benefit a lot from the play action they get. Nothing wrong with that. And there's no right answer, but I'm going to go with Kelce. Okay, by now we all saw the brawl between the Kansas Jayhawks and the Kansas State Wildcats. This game took place in Lawrence at Fog Allen. So, a little background here. Kansas forward Silvio De Souza blocked DeJuan Gordon's shot, then stood over him in a taunting fashion. Before this, the Jayhawks were dribbling out the clock, up 22 late in the game. De Souza was stripped by Gordon near midcourt, and Gordon tried to go in for a layup. The Jayhawks big man recovered and blocked the shot, sending the Wildcats freshman to the floor and drawing a technical foul for taunting. After De Souza stood over Gordon, Kansas State's Antonio Gordon and David Sloan quickly went after De Souza. And from there, players from both benches ran onto the floor. Fight started, punches were thrown, including at one point De Souza, who already had thrown multiple punches, had a stool over his head.
Listen, you son of a bitch. What the fuck's your problem?
Ready to use it before assistant coach Jarrence Howard grabbed it from him. The Jayhawks' Marcus Garrett and David McCormick were also in the thick of the scrum, along with K-State's James Love and the aforementioned David Sloan. If you've seen the clip, I'm sure you have, it took several minutes for the tensions to de-escalate. The fight spilled out into the crowd in the section behind one of the hoops. The following day, KU coach Bill Self suspended De Souza indefinitely. So, I know this is who you got, but is this on the K-State player for stealing the ball in garbage time after his coach Bruce Weber told him to back off? Or is it De Souza's fault? Oh, by the way, a bonus you played yourself before I continue. Both teams were called back out onto the floor from the locker rooms by officials who added 1/10 of a second on the clock. Kansas State shot technical free throws while the crowd booed. I mean, what the fuck's the point of that? To add a couple points, just end the game that's already been ridiculous. They'd already ejected everyone except 5 players that were allowed on the floor. What the fuck's the point of all that?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Anyway, back to the question at hand. Whose fault is it? It's a shit-ass move stealing the ball with nothing on the line. Do I understand padding stats? Yes. Should you expect to be blocked? Probably not, but whatever. But this one's on De Souza. The disrespect in standing over someone like that. And bro, you block someone half your size who is mid-Euro step. And then this same dude's out here fighting like he's not lucky to even be playing this season after taking that Adidas money. The fuck out of here. This is how I would imagine it went in his head. De Souza, your appeal was approved. You can play. De Souza replies, alright, bet. I'll just get suspended for something else. And how lucky is D'Souza that his assistant coach stopped him from going WWE? Ultimate bonehead move. We'll see how many games this ends up being. A lot of analysts were calling for 10 games. Coach Bill Self started with just an indefinite, so I guess we'll see. As for what I'm feeling, first in music, 070 Shake's debut album, Modus Vivendi, which is Latin for A Way of Life, is phenomenal. Highly recommend checking her out. She first appeared on Pusha T's Daytona and Kanye West's Yay, and she's slowly been paving her way, and this debut album is fantastic. Also, highly recommend the amazing film Just Mercy, starring Michael B. Jordan, Jamie Foxx, and Brie Larson. The movie is about the true story of lawyer Brian Stevenson, portrayed by Michael B. Jordan, and his Equal Justice Initiative's first trial reversing the death sentence of Walter McMillan, played by Fox. It's powerful, and I think something everyone should watch. And I also think it got snubbed from award season, honestly. As for my too much sense for this week's is about doing the little things. Don't be afraid to do the little things for people you love. They add up to big things. Do a small favor. Check in on them every once in a while. It'll never be a bad move. Too often we're focused on grand gestures or making these big plays for one another, but the little things add up. Sometimes they're appreciated more in the long run. So it's my too much sense for the week. Do something little for someone. Whether it's checking in on someone, buying them a coffee, talking to them for a little bit, getting something just cause for your significant other. Do the little things.
I'm about that. Big trust. Woo woo.
And that wraps up another edition of the number one podcast in your headphones, Prem Brulee. That's right. Don't ever get it twisted. Don't ever play yourselves. I've been your host, Premal of the Play Call Network. You know the drill. Subscribe. Write a review. Share the episode. All that stuff. And while you're at it, check out the other amazing podcasts by the Play Call Network. And we'll talk to you next time.